Guys, okay, so don't tell anyone this, but I'm a little late. It is no longer Halloween. In fact, I'm filming this the day after Thanksgiving. I've just been busy, okay? I don't really give a shit. In fact, I've already gotten ready for Christmas. Imagine what it'd be like if Michael Myers was actually, like, killing people during Christmas. What? Halloween Kills. We're reviewing Halloween Kills. We're going to get this over with. Okay, so Halloween Kills. Ugh. Okay, so you thought some of the other Halloween films were divisive? Well, not as divisive as Halloween Ends, but we'll get to that next year. Stay tuned. This is the final Halloween video, so we're closing things up. Halloween Kills. Ooh, that's one to talk about. How is it? Oh, well, soda, it's good. Yeah, pretty good. Oh, the movie. So, this movie's divisive for a number of reasons, for numbers of reasons. But I'll just start off with the one. A lot of people think the characters in this film are stupid because the movie is about Michael. The main star of the movie is Michael Myers. Michael is going around Haddonfield just killing people. That is the plot. While Laurie Strode is at a hospital and the other characters are recovering, and Tommy Doyle from the first movie forms a lynch mob to try and take down the boogeyman. You know, Michael Myers, the shape. So, a lot of people have a problem with this film in terms of the way the writing is and the way the characters act. Now, before I say what I thought of the movie, let me just say that if you don't like this movie, or even if you like it, that is your opinion. And what else can I do? We can sit here and talk about it, whether or not you liked it or disliked it. That's totally cool if you dislike it or if you like it. But let's just all get along. I'm sorry, but I love Halloween. But the freaking fan base has been really toxic lately, especially since Ends came out. And I'll get into that next year, so stay tuned. A year from now. But why can't we just all get along? The fact that we're getting Michael Myers films in a day and age where, you know, people like to say Hollywood is out of ideas and, oh, you know, we don't want another slasher. And then when you get another slasher, you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot how much I wanted Michael Myers to return. Like, come on, bro. Let's just all get along and accept the fact that this movie has some flaws. But honestly, I don't know why people can't look at this film and not be entertained by it. Even if you dislike it, that's totally fine and that's your opinion. Why can't we just all get along when we talk about how we feel about this movie? Personally, I love this movie. I love this movie. It's just as good as Halloween 2018. I know you just clicked off, but I don't care. I'm going to share my thoughts and opinions. Okay, first and foremost, I totally get why people don't like this film. Yes, the characters are morons. That goes without saying. The characters make some of the stupidest decisions ever in horror movie history, in any Halloween movie I've seen. They are batshit insane and dumb. Like, characters will do the things you don't do in a horror movie. Split up. They don't, double tap. They don't fuck. Well, first of all, most of the stupidity comes from the dialogue. The dialogue at times is a little cringy because of the way they say it. Obviously, you know the line, evil dies tonight, which didn't bother me. The first time I saw it, I was a little it felt weird and out of place, but the more I rewatched it, the more I warmed up to it. So I'm not going to be here rambling about Evil Dies Tonight and why people hate it. Like, people obviously hate it for their reasons. The number one obvious reason being that it's chanted by a lynch mob that are stupid as hell. So, of course, people are going to hate it when you chant something that's a part of something that's stupid. You're like, oh, I don't want them to chant something that's stupid. You know, your brain automatically feels that way. Plus, I won't get into spoilers, but there's a certain thing that happens to a character because of the lynch mob at a hospital scene that has some of the most diehard Halloween fans scratching their head. And ultimately, it's not pointless. Like, I understand why it's in the film, but I agree with what most people criticize about this film, that it could have been better utilized and well handled. But honestly, I just like the fact, like, okay, I'm gonna bring up Dr. Wolfula. I love what he explains. He's like, you know, I lost my train of thought. I am so sorry. Okay, I was talking about the lynch mob, and I forgot my thoughts. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Anyways, people criticize, you know, the scene that I'm talking about in particular, the hospital scene. It could have been better handled and better executed. But okay, that's what it was. Dr. Wolfula says the fact that this is all happening because of Michael Myers. You see, the reason I like this movie, and the reason Dr. Wolfula likes this movie, and because of several rewatches and reviewings, or revisits to the film, when I first saw it, when I first saw 2018, I knew I liked it right away. I knew it was my all-time favorite Halloween sequel, and it still is to this day. I love Halloween 2018. It's a great film, great sequel. It has some minor flaws, and I do have some minor nitpicks, but other than that, it's flawless. Bite me. Sure, it's the same thing we've seen over again, but I don't care if there's cliches or even if it's the same story. Just have some new elements, good characters, good writing, and boom. Now, is the writing in this film good? I'd say it's about 50-50. There are parts where it really struggles to find what it's, aiming for, and some parts where it's really fucking good. Like, there's a monologue at the end, and the music score, the fucking Michael's Legend, ooh, so good. The soundtrack in this film is phenomenal. I don't know anyone who does not like the soundtrack in this film. Let me just start off by saying that. But anyways, back to what I was saying, okay, look, man, when I saw 2018, I liked it. I liked it immediately. I knew that, 100%. When I saw this film, I knew I liked it, but I had some flaws and I couldn't figure out what they were. So I rewatched it, gave it some thought, and here's what I've ultimately come down to. And this is the same opinion that Dr. Wolfula has. And I'm going to quote him. The characters in this film do stupid and illogical things out of fear and love. There are several moments in the film where a character will just literally be in front of Michael Myers and will have no clue what to do. And when you are put in a life or death situation, or even a situation that can result in death or injury or a loved one being hurt, there's a thing in our head called flight or fight. And sometimes we pick flight. And also, what Dr. Wolfula said in his video was that there are going to be, people are stupid in real life. Why can't that be the case for horror movies? We always sit down, watch a horror movie and say, I wouldn't have done that. As we say, sitting down at our luxurious home, watching a movie on the screen. Why can't people be stupid in horror films? I get it. People want to root for smart characters. But this movie clearly doesn't have a main protagonist. We have a main antagonist. And the main character is Michael Myers. This is Michael Myers' story. We see how he kills people. We see how the stuff he does affects the town of Haddonfield. And I fucking envy David Gordon Green and Jamie Lee Curtis and everyone for going this direction. It's so brilliant. And sure, it did take a few rewatches and a few days for me to really think about it. But the more I rewatch this film and the more I come back to it, I really fucking love this film. It's a really good sequel to 2018. And even if you have problems with the film, you can still enjoy the film. Like, you can still be entertained by this film. Anytime someone says, I didn't enjoy this film, I'm like, okay, and they give me the characters were stupid. I'm like, okay, I understand that. I have my own perspective and why I why it doesn't bother me, which is why I also don't get annoyed by the evil dies tonight chant. I've heard more stupid shit on fucking news, you know? I've heard more stupid shit on YouTube. Like, just because they chant evil dies tonight, like, you don't even chant it that many times. They chant it once or twice before the hospital scene, and once they get into the hospital, then they start chanting it. It's not overly used until we get into the hospital, and even then, it didn't bother me just because I've heard stupider things. Stupider, is that a word? Jupiter? I don't know. Girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider. Yeah, well, you know. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't bother me personally. If it bothers you, that's totally fine, but I don't know how people can't be entertained by this film. And I've heard several people say that this film will go on to be like get a cult following. So I'm very curious to see what people will say in like 2 years or so. To see, like Halloween Kills wasn't as bad as I remember. Like the people who enjoyed it but have flaws of it usually give it like a C or like a 5 or 6 out of 10 because they don't know how to feel. I feel like over time this will gain a cult following. I seriously think it will. And I think more people will appreciate what David Gordon Green and oh my God, David Gordon Green and Danny McBride. David Gordon Green and Danny McBride tried to do with their story and how they made this movie about Michael, which is what John Carpenter wanted to do with his original Halloween that people overlooked, and instead they went with a sister subplot. I'm just saying. Maybe give it a few years. Maybe watch it again. Next Halloween. Yes, I did just eat an ice cube. Give it a few years. Maybe rewatch it next Halloween. Maybe rewatch it now. Maybe you're the type of person who loves to watch Halloween during December or November. Whatever. Just acknowledge that this film has flaws. It does. But if you look past those flaws, you might get a really interesting and fun and entertaining Michael Myers movie. And I'm going to say this might be the best Michael Myers movie. This is the movie where he gets to truly shine. And honestly, with some nitpicks and some flaws, but flaws I can overlook, I really fucking love this movie. And you guys are probably going to hate me. In fact, this may be a really high rating, but I'm going to give it an A-. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it. So guys, that was Halloween month. I'm sorry that it went to November. This won't happen again. I'm so sorry for this, guys. Next year, we are reviewing Halloween Ends along with other Halloween films because, of course. Well, guys, hopefully you guys had a good Thanksgiving and a good Halloween, and I will see you soon for Christmas month. I'm going to take another sip or drink because well, Mr. Jack, it's time we go. Halloween is officially done.